They thought she was harmless, just a quiet librarian who stacked books and whispered, "Shish." But when the corrupt officials torched her library to build a shopping mall, they awakened a storm they couldn't control. Now, she's not shelving books. She's digging graves, metaphorically, of course. This is the story of how a soft-spoken woman turned her silence into the deadliest form of revenge. Everyone in the small town of Graybridge knew Mrs. Evelyn Hart as the quiet, kind-hearted librarian who wore cardigans even in summer and never raised her voice. Her sanctuary was the town library, an old, ivy-covered building filled with the scent of paper, wisdom, and peace. For 32 years, Evelyn had nurtured that library like a child. She saw generations grow up between those shelves. Kids who once needed help finding fairy tales now brought their own children in. But none of that mattered to the new mayor, Calvin Brooks. Calvin was young, arrogant, and obsessed with modernization. To him, the library was an unprofitable relic. He wanted it torn down to make space for a glitzy shopping plaza that would, in his words, put Graybridge on the map. When Evelyn protested at a town hall meeting, she was publicly mocked. "Books don't pay taxes, Evelyn. Get with the times," he sneered. A week later, on a stormy Thursday night, Evelyn watched from her window as fire consumed her beloved library. The cause? An electrical fault, the report claimed. But she knew better. It was arson, covered up by city officials under Calvin's payroll. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just watched. And something inside her snapped. The quiet plan. Evelyn wasn't just a librarian. Before she settled in Graybridge, she'd been an archivist and researcher for a federal agency. She knew how to find information most people didn't want found. She also knew how to make it look like someone else found it. She spent the next 6 months in silence, like a ghost, haunting city records, unearthing financial statements, secret dealings, and hidden skeletons. Calvin's skeletons were buried under so many layers of corruption, it was practically a graveyard. But Evelyn didn't just want to expose him, she wanted him to feel the burn of helplessness she'd felt that night. One by one, it began subtly. Calvin's top investor pulled out of the shopping mall project, citing ethical concerns. Then the construction company mysteriously backed out after receiving an anonymous tip about unpaid taxes. Soon, a leaked report surfaced on a local blog. Forged contracts, laundered money, and illegal land seizures, all tied directly to Mayor Calvin Brooks. But Evelyn wasn't done. His assistant was arrested for embezzlement. His brother-in-law, who ran a shady real estate firm, was caught in a bribery scandal. His political allies began abandoning him like rats fleeing a sinking ship. And through it all, Evelyn never showed her face. She was just a harmless librarian, after all. The grand finale. At the annual town festival, where Calvin was supposed to announce a new, Smart City initiative, the FBI arrived instead, with handcuffs. As cameras rolled, Calvin was taken away in disgrace. And in the crowd, among the sea of confused faces, stood Evelyn, wearing the same cardigan she wore the night the library burned. A faint smile played on her lips. But she wasn't done. With the mayor gone, the town council re-evaluated the land deal. And thanks to a mysteriously discovered clause in the original deed, the land the library stood on was legally protected as a historic site. The mall project was cancelled. And a new library was built. Bigger. Better. Named after Evelyn Hart. Closing lines. Sometimes, revenge isn't loud. Sometimes, it's not violent. Sometimes, it's just poetic. Justice, written by the hands of a quiet librarian who never forgot how powerful a single story could be.